Greetings, Saints, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Barbara Dean Franklin Show. I am your host, Barbara Dean Franklin, and today I have the awesome pleasure of sitting with my girlfriend, Nada Crystal. Hey, Nada, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Nada, you are the founder of the Temple of She.
Yes.
Okay, and I would like for you to tell us a little bit about the Temple of She and what it is, how it got started, and some of the things that are going on right now.
Okay, well, basically the Temple of She is a healing arts practice that I designed, if you will, that aids women in reconnecting, with their, authentic selves.
Okay.
It got started because as a mom and out of all of the other hats, that I wear, daily, the essence of who I was began to get lost.
Okay.
And all I became every day was mom.
Okay.
All I became every day was, all these other, titles and responsibilities. So it was during one, particular time where it just really felt like I was just going through like the motions, of life.
Right.
I was beginning to feel as though I was basically sinking inside of myself and not actually living life, just merely existing.
Okay.
So one day during one of my journaling sessions, universe, basically revealed to me that in order for anything else that's connected to me to be whole,
right,
or successful, and whatever success looks like for me, that I myself have to be whole.
Right.
And so I began to journey back to myself, and journeying back to one's authentic self doesn't mean neglecting your other responsibilities. It's basically finding that balance,
right,
to where you are included into the other responsibilities that you have in your life.
Right. And I totally agree with that. I met you at the African Adornment Conference, and I took one of your sessions, and you were talking about when you get your time, that the husband is satisfied, the children are satisfied, everybody is satisfied in their role, because you have your piece or your time, and you're able to wear all of these different hats. And sometimes we as women, we lose ourselves in all of the roles. We have to work, we have to be a mother, we have to be a wife, we're sisters, we're brothers, we're caretakers, we're cooks, we're some of everything, and it seems sometimes like we're the only ones that are having that role. And so I truly agree with the Temple of She and the concept of because when I left that conference, I took that like it was okay. Nada said, Nada said that I needed to, and I'm guilty of that, because I'm trying to be all things to all people, and it was hard for me to just sit back and relax and just do something for me. I'm still struggling with it a little bit, but it's getting easier and easier, and it's like the light bulb is coming on, like, wow, because when I'm at peace, when I'm feeling good, when I'm getting my quiet time, my rest, then I'm able to give more, but I feel better about giving that. So that's a good thing. Now, you talked about journaling, and that's something that I started journaling back in 1984. And I started journaling, and I think I shared this like maybe on the first interview that I did. And when I started out journaling, it was just really, I was complaining. Oh, he's not, and this is that, But as over the years, I've looked, and now I'm saying, Lord, thank you. Lord, I'm just so excited about what you're doing. And I'm able to go back to 84 and look at where my life is today, all that he has brought me through. So talk about the importance of journaling.
Well, the importance for journaling or any positive outlet is a must for, I believe, everyone. But, particularly women, and journaling for me, I found is really what I've dubbed as my path of power. Okay. Journaling is again an outlet. It's a release point. It allows you to positively express that which is in your mind. Okay. It gives a visual of all of that's in the mind, so that whatever issue that you may want to tackle, it now allows you the opportunity to look at it and strategically say, okay, how can I deal with this? You know, versus, of course, the mind is a highway.
Right.
So instead of trying to, you know, figure out how to deal with something in this highway, you just basically bring it from mind to matter.
Okay.
You just take it out of the, you know, other realm and bring it into somewhere where you can visually see it and, you know, deal with it that way. And, you know, for some people, journaling is just about like the events of one's day, you know, but I take it a step further and I go into different types of journaling. I go into different types of writing. I go into free writing, expressive writing, focus writing, and those those techniques of writing, if you will, are specifically designed to tap into the subconscious, because many people will say that, oh, I've dealt with that, or I don't have to worry about that. But until you actually begin to delve back into it, you'll actually see just how much you've actually dealt with something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that, again, because I say I can go back and look back, and it's really about the subconscious, because I could journal, and I remember God delivered me from a crack addiction, and I can remember praying and journaling, Lord, I really wish I was the person that I am in my heart. I'm a good mother. I'm educated. I'm doing. And as I look back, I went to school and I completed a degree. My children are, they're growing, and that, they're successful, or, they have come into their own. So everything that I prayed about back then when I was still addicted, still going through, my subconscious mind wrote down who I wanted to be, who I was in my heart, who I hoped to be one day. And now I can realize that I am the me that I see today,
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so it is a good thing. Now you are, getting ready to have a article where Ask Nada. So tell me a little bit about what that's about.
The column. The column Ask Nada is going to be on the TPE Post. The publisher of that is Trish Brown.
Okay.
And basically what Ask Nada is a weekly column that allows women the platform to ask me basically anything that they would like to ask me. And the way that I go about answering it is from a holistic and relevant and spiritual approach. I found that in working with women through the Temple of She, that most women don't always come see me face to face. I've had a lot of clients or participants or temples that I speak with via email or via chat room, because that allows them the safety and security or that level of comfort to actually get out what it is that they're want to get out, look at, and process through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I lived in Okemos, Michigan. I was a domestic violence advocate, and so I know for a fact that being a domestic violence advocate, that sometimes women, you go out, you assist them, but they don't always want to go to court. They don't always want to, to do things out in public. So, they want kind of like one-on-one, and, over the internet or through email, they can ask questions that they may not ask face-to-face, or they don't want their families to know, because their families are now probably tired. We told you this already, and you're still in this relationship, so they feel like they have nowhere to go. So Ask Nada will be a great way for them to get questions answered, to see that they're not alone, that other people have gone through the things that they've gone through, and that, the help really comes from within, so once they're courageous enough to ask that question, that things will happen for them. So I'm really excited, and you have my support, about everything it is that you're trying to do, because again, just being, even as you walked in the door, you brought a peace with you, So you talk about also, there's so much stuff that you talk about. We'll probably have to have you back on the show, to do a follow-up. But you talk about the chakras, Let's talk a little bit about that. I used to go to a Unity church many years ago, and I'm going to quit calling dates, because then I'll be telling my age, So, but I used to go to the Unity church, and they talk about the different chakras, how you open them up, how you relax, and, the different things. So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me.
Okay, let's see. The chakras are basically, it's 7 main chakras. Depending on which field of study you delve yourself into, some say that we have thousands of chakras, throughout the body, but we have 7 main chakras. And interestingly enough, the planet has 7 chakras as well.
Okay.
Throughout, planet Earth, right? So there's 7 main chakras that flow throughout the spirit body, and those chakras actually dictate the health of our spiritual state. Excuse me, they dictate the health of our physical state. Mentally, emotionally, I don't know if I can say sexually. Sexually. They dictate basically every area of our lives. And each chakra is responsible for not only a certain area, but also certain organs. They're responsible for certain mindsets, if you will, and there's certain foods, certain sounds, certain colors that actually feed and balance the chakras. They're all different colors, and they go in, from 1 to 7, from the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. And of course, in order to balance the chakras, you start from the root first. And many people, once they get into learning about the chakras, they always want to go to the third eye chakra, because that chakra, the brow chakra, is responsible for our intuition. But that's nearly almost impossible to do, because the chakras are like building blocks. You have to start at the root first. And for most people, you can sometimes, someone that's familiar with the chakras, you really don't even have to be in depth with the knowledge of chakras. Even if you have just a general base knowledge of the chakras, you can, talking with someone, you can almost tell which chakra is imbalanced. Someone that may have a lot of throat issues, someone that may always have sore throats. 9 out of 10, your throat chakra is imbalanced. Somebody that talks too much, someone that may talk too much, that means your throat chakra is overstimulated. The throat chakra is, from a spiritual aspect, responsible for you being able to speak your truth. It's responsible for you being in that area of comfort where you speaking who you are is fine. It's
just really amazing, because that's the chakra that I concentrated on. You say that, so you saying I talk too much? But really, that was the chakra that I always, when I concentrate or I go to meditate, it was always that throat chakra. That was the one that I concentrated. I'm going to have to read up on that one. But I do have a lot of throat sinusy issues and things of that nature. I'm going to concentrate on that aspect, and not that I'm talking too much.
Right.
That's what I believe.
We can go with that.
But you also, there was I don't know if it's on your Facebook post, where you talk about the woman's body owning her own body, that we shouldn't get caught up on being with someone, or having someone touch us when we don't feel like being touched. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, I can't remember exactly what I posted verbatim, because most times when I'm posting, I post when I'm universally inspired. So a lot of it I really don't remember posting. But that particular post came about, from a conversation that I had with someone. On the most simplistic level, of course, we all are energy. Even through touch, even through us, conversating right now, there is a form of exchange, of energy that takes place. So then when you step that up to a more intimate level, now you're intertwining, if you will, energies, and you're locking on to one another. Basically, from my perspective, everyone is temples, but because I work with women, I want to go from the woman. Women are temples. Women temples are sacred. So with that knowing and teaching that women are temples and temples are sacred, that means that there are boundaries that needs to be, in place about, where you go, what you listen to, what it is that you allow in your temple, and what you allow outside of your temple. And that includes relationships. Most times we're so subconsciously taught that someone else completes us versus knowing that you're whole by yourself.
Exactly.
That we get caught up in serial dating or serial relationships where we go from one relationship to the next, and that doesn't leave the woman any time to rebuild, to reconnect with herself.
Right.
So therefore she whether she's aware of it or not, she's always in a state of depletion.
Right.
Because she has not taken the time to rebuild, to love herself.
Exactly. I truly agree with that. I think I did a show on celibacy, and I was saying that, you know, God was courting me, you know, had me to be alone. I've been by myself for, you know, some years now, but, you know, I'm comfortable with being who I am. I love being by myself, and I never was that way. Sexually abused as a kid, you know, a young lady, so, you know, you equate sex with love. You always around somebody, you're going from man to man, just as what you're talking about. So finally, to be in a place, you know, say almost going on 5 years, to be totally, you know, to be alone, not that I'm just like totally isolated or, you know, secluding myself, but just learning how to love me, how to look in the mirror and just appreciate the me that I see, you know, to going from always being around, you know, the life of the party, that girl, you know, everybody is always around, to just being able to just to be by myself, you know, and I've never been alone, you know, went from my mom to a relationship to, you know, with somebody else. So to be, you know, alone and be confident in who I am, it feels so good. It's like, you know, I never would have imagined that I could be that way. But that's one thing that I would say to my young sisters, to my older, mature women, is that you've got to understand who you are. You know, what you bring or what you don't have. You know, you have to learn how to be with yourself before you can really ever be with anybody else.
Absolutely.
You know? So as you talk about that relationship part, you know, I think a lot of married women, and you talked about this, that, you know, they believe that their bodies, you know, because in the word it says that, you know, you should honor your husband or do whatever. But when you are a mother and you have a job and you are cooking and you are cleaning and you are doing all of this and you come home and you're taking care of your husband in the way in which you should, you know, but then there's, you know, one day you're tired. Is it okay to be tired? You know, and sometimes I think it causes a lot of problems when it should not, you know, because if in that word, you know, what they say, you know, you talk about unconditional love, and they say, you know, God is unconditional love, but he also says, you know, I'm a jealous God, do not have any other God before me, you know. So there is some point in time that, you know, it's, even if it's unconditional love, you have to step back and say, okay, my wife is tired. My wife is, you know, this is what she does all the time, and she's doing this, this, and this. She brings so much. Then okay, you know, you make a compromise somewhere.
And not only is it a compromise, it's more of an appreciation and respect.
Thank you.
Because once we become a wife, we're not property. We're just, you know, someone that helps to accommodate you, you know, through life. I'm now your partner. I'm not your property. So therefore, in that understanding, then you work together versus it being a, you know, relationship that's based on patriarchy, which is
a little different. A little different. I like the way that you say, you know, you talk about temples, and if we can get our young women to understand that their bodies are temple, if we could get them to understand the power that they have as a woman, and not a power where you're headstrong or you think you're all that because you know you carry this, but it's a power of self. You know, it's a self-respect and a self-awareness. You know, the influence that you have, the, you know, just the things that you're able to create. You know, being confident in you, the good that you bring back because the good that you put out, you know. So you're having some events that are coming up that you...
Yes. Well, actually, I'm going up north next weekend, actually, to teach the Logic of Love and Self.
Okay.
Teaching that up north at the Song of the Morning Ranch in Vanderbilt, Michigan. Excuse me. This is my third time, I believe, going up there. I really love that place. So to get opportunity to get some me time is very beautiful, very serene.
Where's that look? Tell me.
It's in Vanderbilt, Michigan.
Okay.
It's past Lansing, past. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have information on that where you can, if people want, I mean, is it already booked, or, are you still having openings?
Yes. They can actually go to the Song of the Morning. It's Golden Lotus. .com, I believe, and they can just go to the programs, tab, and they'll find the Logic of Love and Self. It's quite a drive. It's like 3 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have that one, and then I'm also in the process of finalizing a chakras one-on-one course, and that's going to be held at the Moon Ministry in Highland Park. Okay. But I'm in the process of finalizing the dates because it's a 7-week course. Okay. Because it's 7 chakras. Right. And that course is really going to be interesting because I really love to implement the power of visualization. Because for me, visualization is like the journaling, because it's making it real. Right. Because anything that our mind focuses on, we have the potential to bring that into fruition. Okay. Because thought is energy. Right. So I implement a lot of the visualization. I implement a lot of color therapy, sound therapy, and into the chakra course. So people can really get the understanding of just how vital the chakras are to your everyday living. Right. Because they really do dictate the behaviors of the physical self. Right. And many people aren't aware of that.
Right. I have like 6 ladies, and that we have started an organization, and we're in the process of Women in Power Crossing Paths. And when our paths cross, this is just the type of thing where we support each other, we honor each other, uplift and inspire each other, because as women, we teach our young girls how to be, so when they see us, we are all different. We all make up this world. We're all not the same, but we can all honor and, again, support each other. I think that the information that you bring is very vital, especially when you're teaching, you're helping someone to understand who they are, to love themselves, to be able to look in the mirror. And I really, I'm just beginning to understand that what you put out is kind of what you get back. Sometimes you don't see that each and every day, because I'm a giver, by nature. I give and, and I do. And sometimes people take advantage of you because they take your kind nature, they take it for a weakness when I'm not weak. There was a song a while ago, it was like smiley, but I'm not friendly. Right. Okay, see, so I really, understand, but I don't let anybody take me down to their level. I've got a saying that 2 people walking down the street, one of them is a fool, both of them are arguing which one is the fool, so I never let people bring me back down to that level, because I know who I am and I know whose I am, and the God that I serve, he's been better than good to me, and that is because I think all of my life, I've kind of been the same way, and that was searching for the good, in other people and also within myself. So I'm just excited about, learning about me, doing the right things, putting the right things out there, and really trying to help somebody and other people. And that's, part of the show, bringing information to people who may not never, there may be somebody that's watching this show that may not have ever come across you, may have never come across that information, but was looking for it, and just didn't know what it was that they were missing, So I'm glad, I talk to my daughters all the time about journaling, you're right, Mama, you go ahead and do it, but I journal, not as much as I used to, but I need to really get back into it, because it allows me again to go back and see where I've come from, and where God has taken me, So I thank you, for coming, taking the time out your schedule, and to be here. But if you were able to talk to a woman, to somebody who needs to hear what it is that you have to say about the importance of realizing who they are, you know, what would you tell a woman today about the importance of just, you know, having some self-esteem about themselves? You know, just look into that camera and tell them what you would like them to know.
Okay, basically what I would, you know, let the Temples know is that in order for any type of positivity, any type of change to come about, Gandhi says it best, you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. So whatever it is that you want to see externally of yourself, then that change has to take place internally first. There's no other love, in my opinion, that trumps self-love. Right. Because if there is no self-love, if you don't know how to love the self, then it's impossible for you to A, know how to love someone else, and then B, know what to expect from someone else. Right. In regards of loving oneself. So I would just, you know, beseech, you know, Temples to take the time, guilt-free, to begin to spend time with themselves, finding out, reconnecting with that in which they once loved, whether it's walking, whether it's dancing, whether it's yoga, whether it's trying something new, whether if it's just silence, just taking the time to reconnect and rebuild the self from the inside out.
Okay, and I truly, truly appreciate that. Now, if someone wanted to contact you, how would they get in contact with you? Give us some information. If you have a number that they can call you at, if they want to, you know, find out about your journaling classes or, you know, the resort that you're going to. What number or email address, Facebook page? Give me all that information.
Okay, I will give you my email address. My email address is woman.arise@yahoo.com.
Okay.
You can also reach me via Facebook. I'm on there under the Temple of She.
Okay.
And those really are the two best ways, you know, to reach me.
And then the TPE, the article that you're going to be writing for the TPE post, the column that you're going to be writing for the TPE post, what's that website, or how do they get that information?
Well, if you want to just find out information about the column, you can go to tpepost.com.
Okay.
But if you want to submit questions for the post, it's ask.nada@mail.com.
Okay, at mail.com.
ask.nada@mail.com.
The ats. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I have your little slogan.
It's okay.
Well, listen, as always, every time I'm in your presence, you know, I feel like I've just been truly blessed, and I thank you so much for, again, taking the time to come on the show to impart some wisdom to me, to the people who watch this program, and we're going to get ready to end the show.
Okay.
And what I do is I'm going to end the show the way that I always do, to my public, to the people who take the time to watch this program. I want to say, from my beating heart to your beating heart, I love you. You understand? Okay.